Okay. So we'll give we'll wait about a minute or two here, about a minute here, and we'll see if we can get what we got going. All right. Okay, I think we're gonna get going. Are you ready to go?
Great. Let's do it.
Right. Okay, well, thank you and welcome. This is We Are Value Add. My partner, Joseph Raymond, is unfortunately traveling today, and the Wi-Fi on the airplane wasn't a stable enough connection to get him on. We did try. But I'm fortunate enough to have my guest here, Tony Lee, who can probably carry the show by himself. And my name is Dave Reikus. I've been in the auto industry for 25 years. I started from the ground up selling cars, F&I, sales manager. Got into the digital space about 10 years ago as an internet director, worked in the vendor world for Cobalt, Auto Vital, One Command, and then back into the retail world. And I currently am an internet director for an 8-rooftop group out of Florida. And so, like I said, I have Tony Lee here, who is owner and president of SLE Commerce Marketing. Tony's going to be kind enough to join us and give us his unique perspective on not only digital marketing, his take on dealers and what they can do to get ahead of the game. Tony brings a wealth of knowledge. He restores old cars. You might have seen him on the red carpet on a Hollywood review. Tony is a great guest, so I'll turn it over to Tony here for a second. Tony, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Great. Thank you, David. Well, first thing is that I wanted to know, I want to share why we're here. Okay, and then I'll talk more, and then I'll talk about myself. First thing is that right now there is a huge emphasis on dealers and businesses to build their own brand, generate their own lead, create their own traffic, build their own database, right? Breaking away, I'm sure you all heard the big drama, the big white elephant in the room. Okay, if you're in automotive, it's TrueCar, where there's a huge reliance on third-party leads. So there's a huge emphasis of dealers and businesses want to, hey, generate their own brand, build their own traffic, generate their own lead machine. So, and the thing is that right now, if you were to go out there and read all the blogosphere and talk to people, there are so many tools and so many features and so many things that a dealer has to do, right? And it can be very confusing. So that's what I want to answer. I'm not here to tell dealers and business owners exactly what to do, but because one thing I've learned working with different clients and different types of industries, that everybody have their own potion, everybody have their own mix, everybody have their own way of doing things. But however, if we stay focused by prioritizing and categorizing, I think they're going to be very successful at it. Okay, and so the quote that I oftentimes use is that if you optimize these 3 pillars, it's very likely you're going to generate more business and more sales. Okay. So that's really what I want to talk about today.
Great.
Okay.
And the interesting thing, like I said, is, I've been doing digital now for 10 years, and every time I think I have a handle or I've learned something or I know something, I get a unique perspective from somebody like you who breaks it down in a different way for me and allows me to understand it even that much better. And, I think I know PPC really well. I think I know FCO really well. I think I know. But we really hear it broken down into a meaningful categories and pillars, and here's how everything fits together, and here's how you implement it. It really helps a person like me who's been doing it for 10 years understand it that much better. So I'm really interested to see what your 3 pillars are, and why don't you start with, giving us a highlight of what those 3 pillars actually are.
Okay. Well, before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about myself to justify how I come up with these things, right? Just to give you some background. After college, I sold cars at a car dealership, okay, at a Toyota store. And then I also went work at carsdirect.com in the very early the 90s, in the late 90s. I was there. I sold more cars in the history of the company than in the history of the company. So I did average 460 cars a year for 7 years straight. Okay. And then I went, did consulting work for AutoNation Direct. This is before they were just the pilot program at Trilogy. And then after that, I went and worked with, I did an automotive lead scoring program that was part of Trilogy as well. Okay. And so in that process, the one thing I've learned is everything is about optimizing. So just like I'm a big fan of auto racing, it's optimizing. You optimize the engine, you optimize the transmission, you optimize the suspension. It's about just staying focused, separating with the pieces, and then optimizing it. Okay. It's a constant process. Okay. And then also I've been in the web marketing space for the past 5-6 years. I work with single rooftop dealers to auto group, and also across industries. And there's always a confusion, of what is it that business owner dealers need to do. So I really broke it down. I call it the 3 pillars of optimization. These are the 3 pillars or 3 categories to where when you categorize your different marketing mix, and then you focus on them, and then you think of them always. It's kind of like you sleep with it, you eat with it. So the first pillar is, I call it pay or pay engagement. This is like the example of pay engagement or page traffic would be your PPC. Obviously that's pay. And then there's also going to be, you can also do like social media ad. That's going to be pay. Okay. You can do retargeting. That will be pay. Right. So these are different ways that you can buy engagement. You can buy email marketing lists. Okay. That's pay. And then that's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 would be your earn engagement. This would be your SEO. Okay. You have a local strategy. You have a national strategy. Your reviews. Okay. How do you earn reviews? Because clearly, if you were to take the reviews, you can't buy the reviews, but right. You have to earn it. Yeah. What are the different tools and, different steps, different process? We can literally itemize each one of these items and then categorize them accordingly. So let's say email marketing. Email marketing, you can buy the list and also you can earn the list, right? So there's earn and there's pay. There's 2 ways to go that it can function on 2.
So some cross categories from pay to earn, and
that's correct.
Vice versa.
That's correct. So for example, another example I can give you is like social media. Okay. You can earn your follow, your likes. You can earn the comment by basing the quality of your posts, just organic reach. You can do it, or you can do a boost. You can put in. So it's a function of both pay and earn. Okay, but what's most importantly is that you have to think pay and earn will also have to include conversion, right? How do we take this pay and earn so that we can make it so that it's clickable to the website? How a form can be generated from it. If you are doing PPC, is your PPC company creating a convertible PPC ad, right? Is it calling the right phone number? Is it landing on the right landing page? These are questions that you should be asking and thinking, okay, while I'm running PPC right now, I'm paying for this traffic. Am I converting it? Because most dealership that we go into, or I go into, they just think, oh, we're doing PPC. Well, great. Are you converting them? Are you making them? Are you tracking them? Let's ask a deeper question, because ultimately we're here the goal of the business is to build a brand, yet at the same time generate leads. That's how you become self-sufficient. Because if you're just doing it just to do it, one video that I watched is Joe Webb's The Evolution of the Internet Sales Manager. Have you ever seen that video? Let me see if I can Google it right now. So, okay, let me see. Yeah, so basically, basically what it does is that the GM comes to the internet sales manager, keep throwing all kinds of stuff at it. Whatever is hot, whatever is popular at that moment, right? And then that's the GM, the internet salesman, the managers have to figure out, okay, well, we got to put some reviews up. Oh, I heard there's newsletter. Well, that's great. But if you think in terms of categorizing it in these three pillars, what is newsletters going to do for us, right? So that will be okay. You can buy the list, you can earn the list. Okay, great. Does our newsletter gonna convert, or is there a goal that we're trying to achieve from this newsletter, right? Are we trying to sell more oil service, fix op, right? So think in terms of that way. Is it, if it is pay, are we converting it? If it's earn, are we converting it, right? So always, if you think clear, if the dealers think clear in that way, I think they will extract a lot more. They will make their money be more efficient. Okay. Another example I can give would be, let's say, for example, reviews. Okay, you can use reviews. You can capture reviews. You can help that, but also reviews help you convert, right? Sure. Because if you look at there are right now a lot of marketers only track what is on the website. There are activity that is happening not on the website, because Google Plus track the phone call without having to go, or the user going out to the website. Okay, so we can track, we can leverage review as a way to convert, because they've already discovered you. You've already bought them or earned them or whatever the case may be. Now we can use that to ways they can click further into it. Two, another thing that you could do is, how about integrating reviews onto your website, onto your VDP, where it would get them to click further down. Okay, so that's an example of using earn the reviews, and then using it as the way to convert.
Right.
Okay, and then you can go down. Let's go down to let's say mobile apps. People talk mobile apps. Well, what is mobile apps going to do for us? Okay, I mean, okay, so I would put that mobile app would be a conversion, right? It'd be a tool to convert. Okay, right. But how do we drive that engagement? How do we, is this for someone who is already using, who already know about the business, or is it someone that you have to pay to drive them to use the app? So an app would be a good way. Also think in terms of, let's say on your mobile site, is your mobile site converting? Because you're spending all of this, earning traffic, paying for traffic, are you converting it? Is it work on multiple formats? Right. So think, if you think in terms of that way. So the example right now, there's a huge movement where dealers are going to responsive website. Okay, they're realizing that the usage and the trend of the type of traffic and the different types of screens and mobile, a lot of the website is not serving correctly. Okay, so therefore you're not able to convert the visitor that comes. So having a mobile site allow greater conversion on different formats. So I think in terms of that way, I think it just gives the dealers, the business owner, more clarity. Well, we need to focus. We're getting all this click, but where does it go? How come our phone is not ringing? Right. So just that, yeah.
Yeah. So we got the three pillars. You got your pay, you got your earn, and conversion. Yep. Okay.
So I want to let you know, it sounds very similar. There is also another. There's also another three types, what they call types of media that's out there. Okay, this is commonly used media, meaning also earn. It also means it also have earn. It also have own, and it has pay. But this is media. And my three pillars is more to result in sale, not just impressions and just traffic, but how do we think of taking it down further, taking it down into a phone call, taking it down into a lead, taking it down to where the salesperson have a contact that you can call and make a sale with.
Right. Actually, conversions. What everybody talks about, what actually nobody delivers on. Everybody goes on. Everybody talks about their VDPs, their impressions. Again, unless you're converting, and unless you're converting dollars to the bottom line, You can
Yep.
have all the VDPs and impressions you want, really, when it comes down to it. It comes down to the conversion. Of the three pillars, which do you think, Tony, is the most important pillar?
Um, I think in two ways. If you are a less sophisticated dealer with a smaller budget, conversion should be the core of your operation. How do I extract every single traffic that comes to my site? Am I laying it out? I mean, one thing that I do that works very well and is so simple is putting a phone number at the right place on the website, the upper right hand side. Just by having a phone number, because there are internet shoppers, for whatever degree there is, they get frustrated with the whole navigation of the website. The reality is that in automotive, we don't have some of the best websites out there. The websites are getting better, by the way. They are getting better. Unfortunately, there's a lot of rules and regulation, OEM mandated website. Sometimes there's not much you can do, right? All that you can do is just work around what is there, optimize what you have available. If you're in NASCAR, everybody drives the same car. All that you can do at this point is just adjust tire pressure. If that's all you can do, that's what we're doing anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So,
no, I understand that's exactly what you're saying, and that's some of the challenges that, when you're on the front lines and you're hearing different approaches by different vendors coming at us, and you're on the day-to-day, and I get tied up in day-to-day activities. I get tied up in the business reporting, the Google Analytics. I get tied up in just trying to keep those cars really burning out on a day-by-day basis. How do you how do I keep ahead of the constant changes that are coming in our business, so quickly and so fast? How does a regular day-to-day trench person like myself keep ahead of everything?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is that, first of all, we're all guilty of this. We do a good job, and we do a good job. We deal with the day-to-day. We deal with heat every single day, and then you look back months and years later on. You say, "Wow, I haven't expand and grow." And so one, you have to force yourself to leave time. To me, in a day, I allocate 5, 10, 15% of my day to learn something. Okay. The cool thing is that nowadays there's so much information that is out there that you can really see what people are talking about. There's all kinds of blogosphere, all kinds of group. There are all kinds of information that are really available. I don't read every single one, but I definitely know that these things are happening. You'll be aware of it. Two is that there are people that focus on these things. You, as the internet marketing director, or you, the GM, maybe you don't need to know every nooks and cranny, but enough that you can run a business and you can trust someone or trust your team that will do the job for you. But it is very difficult, but you do have to allocate time to learn. Another example I like to give is that, a marketer, if you are a marketer, you should be in the market. You should be out there. If there's a new product and services that are out there, go ahead and try it. If there's a new website that come out, be curious to look at it, see what they're offering. Don't be a blind eye to what are the changes that are going on, because that's probably the only way. And over the years, I've learned that just by having that open mind, you begin to you can guess where the industry is going after a while. You can guess. I do quite a bit of PPC myself, and just seeing that the average cost per click has gone up. I mean, for sure, dealers have to realize, dude, we have to extract the most that we can from these ads, right? I mean that's just obvious. That's just obvious.
A question came in from Seth, one of my friends here, and he said about there's so much information overload coming at us as an internet director. And there's all these options of outsourcing it and taking it in-house, and which do you do, which do you don't, which do you devote the horsepower and the manpower to? What's the better value, having an outsource and a trusted consultant? What do you feel about taking things inside or outsourcing? I believe in my career that I'll do some things in-house, but there's things such as SEO and reputation management and different things that there's so many platforms that I outsource these things. What's your feelings on it?
To me, I think if whatever you decide to do in-house, as long as it's rich emotional content that you can offer that your vendors cannot, right? If you let's say, to me, I think that the clients should manage their own social media page, right? Or if they, again, it all come down to time. How much allocation of time, and also it's cost. How much does it cost to have someone do it for me versus do it myself, or maybe possibly a hybrid system, right? To where the vendor can just do all the basics, but you offer, your posts are more higher level emotional content, right? If you were to blog, blog, blog your own on your own website, do a weekly or monthly blog. Yeah, definitely. If you have the bandwidth, you can provide a greater personal input or personal information that the vendors would not be able to do. Also, it comes down to skill. If I have one client that want to take PPC in-house, I say, well, does your internet sales manager or director, does he have the bandwidth to do this, right? Yes, you want to save that money, you want to save that 10, 15 or fee or what have you, but it comes down to, and also, are you going to have a better skill set than the vendors would do? Is it going to be more cost effective for you? So by focusing on these three pillars, you can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take most of the earn, and I'll just hire out the pay side, or vice versa, or combination of. But I think that it's important that every business should create a list of these three pillars, mark them down, pay who's doing okay, and you work this. It goes back and forth. Okay, right now we're how are we converting? What does our newsletter look like? How these are social media posts? Are we trying to gain organically, earn organically? Plus, do we need to do a boost? Maybe we do need to do a boost. If there's a sale going on, we do a boost. Okay, and then is this ad or this landing page going to be helping us convert? Okay, I think if you mark it down just by being focused in that sense, you have a clear understanding that, hey, I need to do all these things, not just like, hey, social media is hot, let's do social media.
Right.
Right. But ultimately, if it doesn't convert, or you can't convert it, redefining what it is. Is it just branding? It's just floating around. Right. If your core purpose is, hey, I want some impressions, fine. That's good too. So, right. But I think it's good to have clarity on that.
Good. We're going to start winding this thing down. It's been almost the hour goes by quicker than you really think.
Oh, it's an hour?
It's been an hour, or a half hour so far.
Half an hour.
Oh, my fault. Because good. Thankfully, because I haven't even got to your classic cars yet, and I want to make sure not to miss on that before we get done here. Yeah. So no, Tony, tell me about actually tell me about what you do on the SEO side of the fence, and what you can do for dealers, really on the deep dive of getting into it, and what you guys do, because everybody, like I said, thinks that we know what we're doing, but when it comes right down to it, I believe that you need an expert outside doing your SEO.
Yeah. I think social media should be done in-house. Reputation management ultimately comes down to the people and the process. if you have a tool, that'd be great. But to me, I've been doing SEO for the past 6 years. Ever since I've been doing the web marketing side, the bread and butter of my business is SEO. I still have clients that are on the books for that long, just to go through all the changes. It's 5 years in SEO is like 15 years in everything else.
Yeah, I was going to say about 30 years in dog hunt. In dog years, it's about 30 years.
And still keep them on the books. So I think that to me SEO is more complicated. It's an ongoing. It's a whole level of discipline. But the reality is that everything is a discipline. PPC is a discipline, right? Social media can be a discipline. But so just like myself, or even the business owner, master as much as you can master. And then get help where you don't have mastery at it, right? Because the reality is that nobody's going to know all of these. Whoever say that they know all three of these pillars, run away. If they call themselves ninjas and gurus and what have you, run away.
Right? I was going to say,
I just do this titan.
It's almost that they come in letters now with the titles on them, ninjas and gurus and.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so
and that's so true. There's so many different facets that go into the digital marketing, from, like you said, display, retargeting. Yeah. We haven't got into geofencing, apps, mobile apps, mobile apps.
You name it, list it down. So let's say geofencing, that will be pay. Right. Also ask the question, what about conversion? What are we doing to convert? Right. Also, I just want to share something. I've been doing quite a bit of social media, Facebook ads, and I've noticed that the more ads that I've done, the more organic reach I get. So that right there is an example to where I do pay and I get earned. Right. If that makes sense. So, right. Yeah. Some people might say that, hey, if you sign up to Yelp, which is a review. Okay, it's pay and you get something from it. You get earned from it. Again, that's speculative, right? Sometimes there's a correlation, because we always see pay conversion or earn conversion, but sometimes we do see pay also equate to earn and also equate to conversion. So you can kind of connect those three together. Okay,
that almost seems like the best way. If you can have the three pillars that are tied and intermixed together, it almost becomes that your pay spend goes down as your earn goes up, and your conversions are going to go up organically from both pay and the earned.
That's correct. See, now you begin to see that, hey, if you optimize these three pillars, or any one of these three pillars, you are going to generate more leads, you are going to generate more sales, because it's just prioritizing, and it's about focus.
Right.
So that's so just for clarity, because sometimes we have so many tools, so many marketing, everybody have their own marketing mix, everybody have their own process, everybody have their own. So this is just to stay focused, that if we do it, we're going to see an outcome from it. Okay.
I got a question here for you, Tony.
Yeah. What are we dealing with?
Yep. Yeah, right. With the changes with Google limiting the display ads, how is that going to alter the cost and effectiveness of pay-per-click? So now that they're stacking the ads 1 through 4, and we got rid of the right-hand side, is that going to alter, in your mind, anything?
I think your cost per click is going to go up. Okay. So that means that your PPC company is going to have to really justify the spend. 2 is that if you aren't already investing, because unfortunately the sad tragedy that I see out there is that business owners spend the bulk of their money on PPC, while some actually don't even focus much on the SEO, on the earned traffic side. Okay.
Right. I want to get back to that for 1 second, because I have another question on that.
Yeah.
Which pillar would you focus on first? I think before we get done here, you're going to go over what you would do first and what your strategy would be. So we'll save that for the end there, Seth. I hope you can hang on. If not, you can catch it on the replay, but we'll make sure to get to that question. So, going on the old Cobalt study where eyeballs really hit number of spots 1, 2, 3 equally. Do you think that's going to stay the same, or do you think that people are going to go to, is the bottom on the page going to be like second page on page 2 on Google? Doesn't exist.
Okay, if you look at your Google Analytics and under paid traffic PPC versus organic, you will notice that PPC bounce rate is much higher. Time on site is much shorter. I think that the quality of the user is not the same as organic. Consumers still can decipher between the ads and the earn.
Right.
Okay, and also also because PPC, once cost per clicks goes up, and dealers are not adjusting, because oftentimes you don't know what your budget limit or what the trends or the demand is. Your ad will opt out because you already reached your budget. Your ad no longer showed. But I find that successful businesses consistently have their ads up, both not just PPC, but really have to have a strategy for the earned traffic. Really have to have a strategy for SEO. SEO now would include content marketing, would include a myriad of other things, that will, page build out, really defining your keyword strategy. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, you win not because that you have some magical trick. You just work harder. You just do a lot more than other dealers do, or a lot of other businesses do. So sometimes when you're on the web, it's just a matter of you competing with your competitors. Are you outpacing your competitors, right? It's just like, it's kind of like you outwork your sales team to become the number one sales. You just outwork them, okay? And I think the earned traffic will still play an important role. Paid traffic will be there, but I think that it has gotten really, really expensive. The cost per click is just going to get enormous. So it's going to get to the point where earned traffic will be the huge opportunity.
So, the tough question for me, and I've heard different opinions on both sides of the fence here, is if I'm dealing with pay-per-click and I can't compete with the OEMs on their keywords.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't compete with my own LMG.
That's right.
On tier 2.
Yeah.
Should I be buying my own name, or shouldn't I be buying my own name? I mean, Google tells me that most people are typing it in anyway.
Yeah. To me, I have one client. He wants to spend 60% of his budget just so his name stays on all the time.
Right.
But his sales team, his GSM, say, "Hey, I need leads," but the owner want to see his name, right? I think there is the cool thing about it is that optimizing for your name, really you have to manually bid it so that you just barely pay just enough of it, right? I think unfortunately, so just to satisfy the owner, but you should spending on your name. You should spending on your name, not all, but you have to have a cap somewhere. To me, 20-30% is fine. 60% maybe to absorb, because you do want to acquire customers unaware of your brand.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, but
I get that all the time.
Yeah, but I think it's important that you should be buying your name. If it once, but it comes down to if you're looking at your Google Analytics and you're not getting enough new visitor, yes, you need to focus on generic name search or just money keywords, because that's where you're going to get customers unaware of the brand.
And I think, you mentioned earlier, I think having a defined keyword strategy and actually sitting down and adjusting. So many people do SEO, as I call it, out of the box. And whether it's mandated by the OEM that your website company gives you their basic package, which, again, how can they justify your website being better than your competitors, which is 5 miles down the street, and they do the competitor 5 mile down the other way and do the competitor 5 mile down the other way. I would rather have an outside entity that really only cares about me and my market than my out-of-the-box OEM recommended company vendor.
Yeah. You know, I oftentimes hear the term, I'm sure we all hear the term best practice. Best practice doesn't mean it's going to be good for you, because best practice is very sterile, right? You're here, you know, if you're here to get the date, you're not here to just you know, be like whatever mom tell you to do. You're here to do whatever it takes to get the date, right? You're here to do whatever it takes to grow the business. You're here to do whatever it takes to protect your market and get more customers. So oftentimes by doing that, you're gonna try. We're gonna meet. You're gonna do everything we can to meet compliance and meet whatever rules and regulation there are. But at the same time, only successful businesses and successful businesses or people are more aggressive, or willing to go out and get the customers. Okay, and same thing with your website. Your website shouldn't be best practice. It needs to be, wow, what is my adjustment? What is my tweak? What is going to make me more aggressive, more attracting to customers? What is it that I need to do that is beyond what my competitor is doing, right? Am I coming in with a game plan that is far beyond what they can think of, right? And so I think it's important to think about that way. But yes, you are correct. The first step is to develop a master keyword list. Again, most of my career have been focused purely on the SEO, just organic traffic. Really develop your master keyword list. This is not something that it's a growing list. Okay, it needs to reflect your business. It needs to reflect products and services that you offer. If I show you my list and all that you see is my list, you have the ability to understand what my business is about. And that list, that every company's list, should be able to describe it in that way as well. Gotcha. If that makes sense, right? Because it is a keyword list, because that will allow you to write the right kind of blog, optimize the pages correctly, understand what type of traffic what type of users are coming in. It also will tell you where the traffic is coming from, right? And because if you know where they're coming from, you could flavor, you can make changes so that it can reach better. You can have a point of interest or something that would connect with that user if you are getting traffic a little bit outside of your PMA, right? Something that would get them to click further down. But having a master list is very important, and it does take energy and effort to develop, you know. But everyone should have a list.
Right. So, you know, you have this 3-pillar strategy, and pay-per-click fits into there. So question would be, there's going to be an amount that you're going to spend. You always want to convert.
Yeah.
But as discussed already, branding and dealers that want to just make sure their name appears and their share of voice is out there. What would be a good ratio of spend for acquiring new visitors and spend for branding purposes and naming rights?
Yeah.
So, you know, do you try to define, I want to allocate this amount of dollars to acquire new traffic, and I want to make sure that my current customers are receiving a good message all the time also?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to, as you know, in marketing, you know, one of the quote that Damian Johnson, one of my favorite shows is Shark Tank. So Damian Johnson always say that, you know, marketing is the black hole, which is totally true. Right. And so everybody have their own unique, different marketing mix. But for me, I tend, somehow the magic number to me is 30% on your brand. Somehow that has always been the case, to where you know, I think maybe because when I had it at 60, the GSM complained. When I have it when I have it at 30, the owner complained, right? So I'm just trying to get it to where okay, nobody's calling me. That's good. That I'm doing fine, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think PPC is important, but it's just not scalable. Businesses really need to invest in their SEO. unfortunately, a lot of dealers don't understand it. It is kind of hocus pocus. It is something that your vendor needs to be able to explain the exact process. The owner should be able to understand what is it the SEO vendor is doing, and by doing this, what does it mean, and what is the outcome from it. So whoever you work with should be able to give it to you in a way that you can say, okay, I understood what you're saying.
And I've had the pleasure of actually sitting through your presentation and having you outline it for me, and the transparency that I learned from sitting through what I find is that, and whether it be SEO or pay-per-click or retargeting or even display ads, so many vendors really don't want to explain to dealers what's going on fully, and they might know and be able to track them, as opposed to joining that synergy and that partnership that says, I want to educate the dealer so that we can get together and have the same goal.
No, it's true. And but also, especially in automotive, when it comes to marketing, there's a lot of big companies out there. They have to think about scale. They have to think about, they have to think on an OEM level, so they can only give to you, best practice doses. They want to give you just enough. That's just enough. But again, to go deeper, to be entrenched in it, to create trust, to see as a partnership where he's really working for me, or he's really understanding my business. I mean, I think businesses, as they mature and they learn more about the web, they need to get into that level of relationship. I personally only seek those relationships. I'm not here to hold people's hand. It is a mutual, you win, I win, because a lot of times there's a lot of work, front end work that has to be done. Just like the earned traffic, it takes a lot of I have the whole, if clients that doesn't understand it, it's just going to be drama, the first 4, 5, 6 months. Sometimes it takes months just to get results, because we're building out the site, we're changing things around. These things don't really happen right away. But dealers are taught in a monthly exchange, in pay. So that's why the pay business the pay acquisition is important, because they can see it. Hey, I'm spending $5,000 a month. I'm getting $5,000 worth of clicks. You give me 15% of that. That's my fee. Voila, simple. Okay. Whereas SEO, what topic we got to do this, hocus pocus. What do we got? I don't know. And maybe the numbers look that way. But so clients have to be patient in understanding. There's a level of trust that's involved, and it is a partnership. So, but it's,
I think that's the huge important thing is to find a vendor that you're comfortable with, that will sit down as a partner, has your same goals in mind, and not just there to collect a paycheck. Actually, there for your success.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
the OEM.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the OEM. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think at the end of the day, it's moving in that direction. Only because a lot of dealership, we're talking mainly dealers, is that they get really dissatisfied with the cookie cutter strategy, because every business has a different marketing strategy, so it's not cookie cutter anymore, right? So.
It's funny. I can shop websites and I can just look and I can tell you whose brand is without even looking anymore. They're so alike.
Yeah.
Each company.
Yeah, it's very similar.
To stand out personally nowadays, I think the customers, like you say, we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
And the website companies, I think, are identifying it. But I don't think the OEMs will let them do it for the next 5 or 6 years. I think there's a huge opportunity right now for the independents and the boutique firms to really stand out and grab some market share.
Yeah. Well, it's the OEM have to think about the branding. They have to think about scale. They have to think about continuity. So So I understand their part, but to me, you as a business owner, you want your business to be successful. I mean, the brand is great, but ultimately you have to sell the car. So I think there's a market to be the boutique, but
Right.
also dealers, business owners shouldn't fall, into the trap of like, oh well, who you're working with. The reality is the world has changed. A high school kid can be a millionaire nowadays, right? He can come out with some great solution, but you shouldn't have a close eye because, oh, he's a new guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, great.
Okay. Excellent call.
Yep. And I think we're about ready to wrap up now. So again,
why don't we, David? Why don't you see any question that we can answer here? What do you think? Yeah. See, I don't want to leave anybody out.
Right. We're getting a lot of thanks. That's the good news. Tony, how would we reach you if we wanted to do a deeper dive with you personally? How would we go about getting a hold of you?
Yeah, you can just send me an email at tony@slecommerce.com. Or you can give me a call, 213-321-3843. Actually, let me just type it here.
And of course, this is going to be replayed on most of the blogs, forums, YouTube, and automotive groups that we belong to. So you'll be able to catch a replay of this show, and we hope you do. We have some great guests coming up in the next weeks. Tony's been great. Tony, if I ask you one last question, you're a dealer. What's the first thing you do when you're done with this blab and you've watched it, and you're going to sit down and you're going to think about your 3 pillars? What's the first thing that you're going to do?
Let's create a list.
Create a list.
What am I doing right now? If I'm doing paid, PPC, social, whatever it is, list it down. What am I doing on my own side? What am I doing on my SEO, my local? What am I doing with my reviews? What am I doing? Am I buying? Am I paying? Am I have a process, a system? What am I doing for each? What am I doing on the conversion side? It's how is my website performing? When was the last time I even visited that topic? Right? Let's make a list. Let's categorize it. It just give you a visual focus and priority on what needs to be done. Right? It is something that you have to constantly work at always. And also, this is constant learning, constantly changing. So we just have to work on it, and then don't be afraid to experiment. Even myself, I've been doing this for a long time, and there's experimenting going on.
Right.
It's
breathing animal. Yep.
There's constant experimenting. Great. So I think it's important to, and also I think it's important to allocate time to learn something. Because sometimes we don't spend enough time or allocate enough time. We get stuck in that rut to do the day's job, and not really learn how to develop ourselves, So, but the cool thing is that now you're on social media, stuff can just land on your computer without you knowing. So.
Right. Isn't that just like us?
Yeah.
Just never know where everything's going to show up.
Yeah.
But you know what? It helps so much nowadays. And like you say, the information's out there. Get educated. If you don't know, learn. Spend some time. Make sure you allocate part of your time away. We have your contact information. That's great. Again, Tony, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you.
If you haven't, it's been a great show. Look forward to having you back on, hopefully sometime in the future. We'd love to do a part 2. I know that the people watching would love to have you on. So if your time allows it, we'll let you back on in the future.
Great. Thank you.
All right. You have a great day. And everybody, thank you so much. And join us next Tuesday at 6:30. And I think Owen Moon is joining us, and it'll be a great show.
Cool.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Okay.